5, 4-stage engine start. 3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
Wait a minute.
We lighten up Palo Santos. Okay. We setting a vibe. We bringing in the good energies. I'm just real grateful, y'all. And I'm grateful. I'm expressing my gratitude because it helps me when I'm in sad places. And I'm in a little bit of a dark place. I'ma keep it real. And I'm editing a video currently talking about painting my higher self and tapping into my higher self and some of the tools that's been helping me. But this is in addition to that conversation and me wanting to add a little bit more. I've been feeling overstimulated. I've been feeling really overstimulated, and it's like, can we be real? I've been sharing my art with the world for probably the last decade. I've been doing that mainly through Instagram, and I felt like I've built a community on that platform, and I really enjoyed it for some time. And now, of course, these platforms are changing, things continue to evolve, and I feel like I haven't been able to show my full self on Instagram. I feel like the person that I've presented online, specifically Instagram, has been the of course, right? Like we all show like our highlight reels, right? And I feel like the highlight reels is great, but I also think that that's part of the problem. Like that's why the system is breaking. That's also the reason why these platforms aren't sustainable. Like showing, if your main goal is to show the highlight reel of yourself, then during those dark times, during those sad times, so does that mean that you don't show up? And the answer is yeah. A lot of times people don't show up, but when they're going through stuff. And I want to push through that. Like I'm feeling this major resistance, y'all. And it's really frustrating me because I feel like the resistance that I'm feeling is not wanting to show up when I'm not feeling my best. And I also know that that is just not sustainable. That's not practical. That's not real. And I know that I want to have a long-standing career, a long-standing community, and I want to have a long-standing presence on these platforms. And in order to do that, I have to be able to show all the different aspects of myself, and I have to be just real and authentic and showing all those different levels. And the thing is, I have been, which is so great, but I also feel like there's another level. There's like another layer down that I want to show. And it's just so weird because it feels like that's been the space that I've had in a vault for so long. I've just had it in this safe, secure place. And now opening that door, I feel my ego self like, like she like, no. You don't show the people that. You don't show the world that, because if you show every aspect of yourself, you won't be loved. You won't be accepted. And it's just like, what is that? And of course, I know what it like. We study psychology. We read all the books. We've heard all the lectures. Like, well, I'm that person, y'all. I read a lot. I watch a lot of videos. I love lectures. I love philosophy. And I know, like, I'm a student of Carl Jung. Okay. Like I know all the different layers of the ego and the id and, Freud and just like all the psychology and Erik Erikson, like, so I know, of course, right? It's the ego trying to protect myself. It's my, small child trying not to let every aspect of her vulnerability show. And now at the same time, I think that there is power in privacy. I'm not a believer that you gotta bare your entire soul to the entire world. I do not think that that is necessary. And I also think that social media and the internet has given us this narrative, like people are almost rewarded the more vulnerable that they are. Like the more that they share about their family, the more that they show their kids and sharing their birthing blog, like the more people love that and just want to know and want to have these parasocial relationships with people online, you know? So I definitely don't want to feed into that space, but I want to just encourage the world out there to know that you don't, like, the shit that is out here, y'all, is so fake. It's so fake that it's nauseating. Okay, like it's so not humanly sustainable to constantly be in these places of just happiness and joy and bliss and travel vlogs and like all the, you know, my 6 a.m. morning routine. Like, everybody not getting up at 6 a.m. all the time. It's just not real, you know? And in order to be able to show the different aspects of myself, I need to feel comfortable with being in those sad places while also doing it in a judge-free zone, at the same time of also not just trauma dumping on people. Okay, because I also don't think that it doesn't serve people to just show that you're sad. Like, sure you're sad, they're sad too. Okay, like, we're all sad, we're all watching the same news out here, we all seeing what's going on out in the world, and it's sad, it's heartbreaking. And I know for me, y'all, I barely even watch the news. Like, what's crazy though now is just like, you don't even gotta watch the news no more. It's like, you still gonna get the information, whether that's a screenshot somebody sharing on Instagram, whether that's a YouTube video that's coming up in the trending or a news section. Like, you gonna get the information. And as much as we want to tune out and just put our head in the sand, we can't no more. Like, it's out here. We about to keep it real. And I'm about to make a full-time living of keeping it real. Like, that's about to be my job out here in the street. First of all, okay, she got the headphones in. Okay, her levels got high. She got high. Bring it down here, miss. Okay. The reality of it is that there is a cyclical loop that happens for especially content creators, and especially for the real people out here where like part of their job is to just show up and be themselves or be in a high vibe, you know? So it's like, when you're not in that high vibe, that affects every aspect of your life. That affects your relationships, that affects your business, and then in turn it affects your finances. And so when you feel it in a low place, now your finances get low, now your relationships get low, and now you start feeling low because your relationships is low and your finances are low. And it puts you in this perpetual cycle. And I know the cycles, I've studied the patterns, and I've been in the patterns. And so what I'm pushing through now is really breaking free of that pattern of like wanting to shut the world out when I'm in a dark place. It's like, there's a part of me that like is still wanting to show up. Like, I feel this calling of being like, girl, still show up. Still show up. Still show up. Like let the people know that you can still show up, and that people and like that's what people need to see. That's what people need to know. Y'all, look. She tearing up from her own message, and it's real. And it's like, I'm reminding myself that I have full permission to even be in this heaviness, because the season is here. It's cyclical. You know the patterns. You don't have to be confounded and confused anymore. The seasonal depression happens, and you can just let it be. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to give it emotion. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to feel bad, because now you aren't the giggly, bubbly, happy Aramis and the happy artist that people are used to seeing. You don't have to shut the world out right now because you feel sad. You can cultivate a community of people who honors the complexity and the multifacetedness of who you are, because you've already done that. You've already done that. I already have an incredible community of people who show up for me in all the different layers of myself. I have an incredible just ridiculously amazing, supportive husband and partner who knows, like, okay, Irma's going through it right now. I'm gonna just check in and be like, babe, do you need any food? Do you need some water? Like, how magical is he? Like, how magical, you know? I got a friend like my girl Monica. Look, shout out to Mo, okay? My girl Monica texts me like, girl, how you been? Like, we in a group chat, you haven't responded. Like, you good, girl? Like, I have friends. I have a mom. Like, I'm just so blessed right now. And it's just like, I'm super grateful for the people in my life. And it's like, girl, you don't have to be nobody else but yourself. And I think I'm going through this right now, and I'm feeling the urge to share this publicly and to speak to somebody right now who needs to hear that if you're feeling low, it's okay. It's okay. Take a moment, turn off that phone, get off TikTok, get off YouTube. Maybe take a few days before you even reply to those emails. The world is gonna carry on. The world gonna be A-okay. Take a minute, because all that matters right now is that you stay alive. We need you. I gotta talk about it, y'all. We gotta talk about it. Because the more that we aren't talking about how we feel, the more crazy we are feeling. The more that the rest of the world is continuing to carry on with life, and the empaths and the sensitive beings and the artists, the more we are feeling like, what the is wrong with me? that I can't just keep going when the shit is breaking. What is wrong with me? Where it's like, are we not seeing what are we doing here? And I just need to let y'all know, you not crazy. The system that we living in is crazy, okay? And that this is madness. It's madness. But what I need you to know is that you're gonna be okay. We going through a season and a cycle, and I need people to hold on. First of all, I'm crying too much. I don't know if the people gonna get this. Okay, girl, get your mind right. I can relate to the idea of the world feeling so heavy. I think that we all can relate to that idea. I think what I really want empaths and artists and sensitive beings who can feel like it's so hard and heavy to live in this world, I want us to know that these times will pass. The times do pass. Like, I look back at old times in my life and I'm like, man, I made it through that. I made it through that. And y'all, I'm feeling heavy right now. Like, I'm literally feeling heavy right now as I'm just tuned into what's going on in the world and what's going on in my personal life and my family's life and the city of Seattle. The weather is changing, the energy is changing, and you know, it's hard to live in life as an aware, awakened being without you just putting your head in the sand. And for so long, I put my head in the sand and I just coped. You know, I turned my head to cope. I shut out the world to cope, and I want to move forward in a different energy. And part of me doesn't even want to move forward in a different energy. I think that's why I'm feeling the resistance. It's almost like I'm being called, like I'm being pulled to keep showing up when it just feels so heavy. It feels like such a deep part of me wants to hide, but there's a bigger part of me that's like, you don't serve hiding. You don't serve hiding. And I feel so strongly, I feel really called to serve. And the other part of me is like, this world, like, I don't give a fuck about, I don't want to serve any fucking body. I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't. But I also, the other part of me is like, nah, You came here to help. You really did, sis. You really did. You really did. And you shrinking and you ghosting and you just not showing up, that doesn't serve anybody. And it doesn't even serve you, to tell you the truth. It doesn't serve you. Okay? So it's like, don't lie to yourself out here. Don't console yourself with the shrinking when it doesn't even serve you. If that ain't a word, then I don't know what is. Like, I really do. If that ain't a word, then like, man, I know it's hard out here, y'all. I know it's heavy out here. I need us to keep going because the sun always comes out. It always does. And I remind myself whenever I feel low, I know that there's another time when I'm gonna feel high. I know. You just gotta wade in the water. You really do. You just gotta hold fast till that next cycle comes, you know? That's really, it's really what it's about. It's just like, you gonna be on a roller coaster ride. You gonna go up and down and up and down. And it's giving yourself the grace. Just having patience with yourself, being so gentle with yourself, as gentle as you need to be on this journey. Give yourself grace. And that's what I'm doing, y'all. I'm giving myself grace. I'm giving you grace. If you needed a permission slip, I'm handing it to you right here and right now. You have your permission slip to do that. Sending you all my love and light. And until we meet again, keep creating and keep giving yourself grace on this human being journey.